You know what they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and never has that been truer than right now in the modern day gamergate 2.0 scenario. Also, never has it been more literal, but we'll get into that in a bit. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and we got this discourse going on. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. It was all the hubbub yesterday coming from kabrutus about this new game, ZAU, that is launched and is, of course, connected to Sweet Baby Inc. But this game's a little bit different. You know, why this particular game? Why the discourse around this? Why the accusations, race baiting, the whole nine? Well, it's because this is kind of a casualty of war, as you're going to put it. So let's go ahead and get into this. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and I think that this is a pretty important story because there's a false narrative going around. There's a lot of false equivalencies being made about what the Gamergate 2.0, about what Sweet Baby Inc. Detected stands for, what it means, and how the methods being employed, why they matter from game to game. So we're going to get through this, what kabrutus says, who of course you guys know is the one that started, effectively kicked off Gamergate 2.0. Sup guys, I just want to remind that ZAU is going to launch today. This game is on Sweet Baby Inc. Detected curator page, and yeah, it's connected to Sweet Baby Inc. Remember to vote with your wallet. And on the surface, you look at that and it looks like, oh, okay, you know, another generic game starting a diverse character that nobody cares about, has ever heard about. You know, of course Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in this, when that's not technically the case. You know, instead, this game has done what so many of us have been saying for ages. Hey, stop bastardizing existing properties, make your own thing, make your own character, stop race swapping, stop changing from one gender to another. You know, this game does all that. It pulls from actual African lore. It's made by a individual from Kenya, and it still used Sweet Baby Inc., which is the reason for the boycott, because despite this game actually being a good example of what game devs and teams and individuals should do, hey, if we're gonna boycott everything from Sweet Baby Inc., that's gotta include the unfortunate situations like this one where a possibly good game from a possibly altruistic developer who didn't really know what they were getting into ended up working with Sweet Baby Inc. You know, you can't make exceptions for the rules if you're gonna get a boycott going and you're trying to bring a company to its knees to prove that they do not need to exist. So I'm gonna go through a couple tweets, show you some things going on that maybe you have or haven't heard about, and just sort of give you my opinions, my breakdown on this situation. So we got this dude here, Mighty Keef, who we may as well call Mighty Queef for this going forward, quotating what kabrutus had to say. A black man made a game themed in his Kenyan culture, and people in the comments are saying things like DEI. This is what I mean when I say people just say shit they hear others say without having any idea what the word means. I'm getting the game just to spite these weirdos. Well, no. At least so far as I can tell in my circles and the research that I've done, no one has been talking about this game about, oh, look at the DEI, the black character. No, actually, a lot of people have been saying what I'm saying, that this is an unfortunate casualty of war. If it were not for Sweet Baby Inc. being involved in this game, we would actually love to see this exist, because it actually does have all the real diversity that we've been talking about. As someone who is a massive Magic the Gathering fan, I have talked at length about how, because Magic the Gathering very often uses other cultures, other time periods as inspiration behind the cards, whether it be Middle Eastern or medieval European settings or Norwegian settings. And I've talked about how cool it would be, at least several years ago before modern DEI stuff, it would be to have like a very African-centric, an African pantheon of gods sort of, set to Magic the Gathering, something inspired by that. In this video game, we would get that. It's a cool, unique, original idea. No one's talking about, again, nobody that at least seriously knows what's going on in the culture war, who actually has correct opinions on what's going on, is talking about the DEI in this game. Oh, look, they just made a black Kenyan game because of diversity. No. The man who made this game and the team that made this game are drawing from their own experience, their own culture. That's what we like to see. But then Sweet Baby Inc. gets involved. So Fratanga asks a great question here. Why does a man from Kenya even need a consultation from a company like Sweet Baby Inc. that pushes for the disgusting Latinx propaganda? Exactly. If this man, if the individuals behind this game, ZAU, are actually entrenched in their Kenyan culture, in their Kenyan roots, want to make a game to celebrate that, then why would they need a consultation company to come in, change the game, alter the game, make, possible, guide individuals towards, hey, this is what we think narratively and structurally should be done, or maybe this is how the character should look. If the creators are really entrenched in the roots of their actual, life, of the life that they want to put in this game so well, what's the need for the consultation company? Now, I will say, this company, they did not know like none of us knew really who Sweet Baby Inc. was at the time. You know, this game has been in development for years. This is well before the backlash, well before the blow up, well before anyone knew about the evils that is Sweet Baby Inc. So yeah, they got in bed with this company that they had no knowledge of, that frankly had no controversy about them because nobody was talking with them, because it was an industry standard thing to do. And that's the unfortunate part, because these individuals making this AA game didn't know that this was going to blow up to be the problem it was. They were just following industry standards, and it shouldn't be industry standards to use these consultation companies, regardless of the political aspect of it. You know, these consultation companies that come in and are third-party corporations that say, give us your money and we'll tell you everything you need to change. Yet, no, we should be, you know, sticking to studios and let studios and creatives make their own decisions and their own choices and find out if this works, if that works, what does and doesn't work. And of course, from there, the game will live or die by its own merits, its own faults, but at least we will know who actually had the creative control to make the decisions that came about in said game. But because this small AA studio thought, hey, we're doing what every other game studio does, what every other game studio is probably, it might not be a written rule, but it's probably an unwritten rule that every game studio has to do nowadays, which is use these consultation companies. They are now going to be burnt at the stake for it, all because of things that have happened a couple of, possibly years before all this, because decisions that were made years before this came to light. And you know what? Sucks to suck. It does. It sucks to suck. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, we need to give this game a pass because it does everything we ask it to do, because it does all the diversity stuff right. It does all of the, the equity, inclusion, doesn't have any of the DEI. This is actual real diversity. It comes from a good place, a good heart, Sorry, we can't give them special treatment. That's not how this works, because then you're going to have to start doing that for every single game. We don't know to the extent to which Sweet Baby Inc. was involved in this game, but we know it was involved. The war is on Sweet Baby Inc. The attack, the battle is all on Sweet Baby Inc. And unfortunate reality is, there are casualties of war. And you guys might think, oh, he's being hyperbolic, he's blowing this out of proportion, war, he's using war. No, let's be real. We want Sweet Baby Inc. and all other consultation companies like them to close down. We do not need them. We do not want them. The end goal is to remove them from the equation, or remove them from the situation, and for games to go back to being made specifically by the studios. I get it. Consultation in various different fields has always been a thing. No one's really trying to argue about consultation existing. But we're trying to make the argument that it shouldn't exist, especially when it only exists as a way to force political and sociological and ideological changes into artistic mediums, when the art should speak for itself and the art should come first. But of course, we're not the only people having this discussion. Kabrutus says this right here, as we saw. Now we got what he do to make all them DEIs so mad, stating this: they've reached the point of boycotting a complete AA game with no microtransactions made by a passionate gamer in order to check notes, make gaming better. These people don't give a shit about the gaming industry. This is an example of somebody completely either intentionally reframing the argument and being disingenuous about it, or so ridiculous and retarded they do not know what our argument is. Unfortunately, and I will lay this out once again, we are attempting to make the gaming industry better by forcing Sweet Baby Inc. and other consultation companies that exist purely for social, ideological, and political benefits out of the industry. We want them gone. We want them burned to the ground. We want them to have less stock value than the used toilet paper sitting in my toilet right now after the fat shit that I took before recording this video. We want these companies burned. We cannot do that if we give special treatment to a game just because it did the things we want them to do. They still use Sweet Baby Inc., and the message has to be sent. And yes, in the long run, I believe, and many others firmly believe, this will save gaming, and this will save nerd culture in general, because if there's a shift in gaming, which is the largest entertainment industry in the world, then we can possibly see these shifts in other avenues. Movies, music, comic books, card games, tabletop games, whatever it may be where you're seeing this DEI infestation. But then there's people calling it racist that Kabrutus had this on the list, as if the race of the character had, or the game, or the creators of the game, had anything to do with the situation. It's not like this game was put on the Sweet Baby Inc. detected list because it had a black character or whatever. It was put on the Sweet Baby Inc. detected list because Sweet Baby Inc. was in fact detected. And so we got idiots like CBomb904 here saying, play this game to make the racists mad. What? No, There's not a racial correlation to this whatsoever. In fact, the vast majority of us are saying this idea is cool, and it sucks that Sweet Baby Inc. was involved, because otherwise there could have been something here. There could have been potential, and we got my boy Hypnotic bringing it home with such common sense that it will probably hurt a lot of you watching this that are on the side of Sweet Baby Inc. if for whatever reason this video reaches those sorts of, I was gonna say masses, but minimals. No one is racist to this game. You also don't have the power you think you do, proven with Hogwarts Legacy. Imagine playing a game with a black lead only to own the racist instead of the merit of the game. With Hogwarts Legacy, at least it was a banger of a game, and still woke as fuck too. Now, and yeah, Hogwarts Legacy, it was a woke game, but it was a good woke game, because not everything woke is inherently bad. Something being woke does not automatically mean negative. You know what? You can make arguments that Dune 2 has a lot of woke elements to it. It's still a very well-crafted, well-made movie. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on Dune 2, a lot of you guys know those, but the point is, you can look at something objectively on its face and be like, hey, this is a well-made product. Dune 2 is a well-made product. Hogwarts Legacy is a well-made product, and this game is probably a well-made product. From all the gameplay I've watched people talk about, it seems fairly generic, but it's also, you know, it's a first time, or at least first wide release from this AA studio. Again, it's completely unbroken on release, which you can't even get from AAA studios nowadays. Like, all in all, this has so much going for it. But Sweet Baby Inc. was involved, so we can't make any exceptions. But no one's saying that not to play the game because the main character is black, and you're not making any racists mad by playing it. Like, this is this weird little place that you live in with your little white savior. Like look at this dude. Clearly, I don't know, is that, I assume you're white? Maybe you're some sort of Jason Momoa off-white, I can't tell. Like, what? I see you've got Prince of Persia here as your banner. Did playing that piss off the racists because he's Persian? I know a lot of white people that have always loved the Prince of Persia games. I was playing the Prince of Persia games when I was in like fucking 4th grade or something. I don't know. Again, I see you got the bright blue eyes. I'm going to assume that you're white or some sort of off-white, and you're just trying to be a white savior because you think that you must stand up on behalf of all the black and brown people and everybody out there of a darker skin tone than you, that you've got to fight for them because, well, without you, how could their downtrodden selves ever rise to the occasion and be something great and free without your little white saviorness? It's absolutely maddening. But no, when we're talking about the game ZAU, it is an unfortunate casualty of war and nothing more. The game shouldn't be purchased. I'm coming out here and say it. To those of you that have bought it or thinking about buying it, or for whatever reason people involved with the game see this, look, you failed this time. You didn't know what you were doing. That's not your fault. Things happened that were out of your control. Just know that I'm rooting for you personally. I would like to see games like this be made without the use of these consultation companies. Follow your dreams, follow your hearts, and make the product you want to make, and do not let anyone tell you otherwise. You don't need to use Gamer X or Black Girl Gamers or Sweet Baby Inc. or any of these other consultation companies. Make what you want to make, and if you have some sort of nonsense in your head about, you know, there needs to be XYZ diversity, at least do it because that's what you want to do. We'll still bitch and moan about it afterwards if it comes off as disingenuous and annoying and absolutely full of shit, but at least you did it because you wanted to do it, not because some third-party pencil-pushing company that's only there to take money out of your budget to say, look, you need us or your game's not going to succeed. Yeah, that's not how it works. So you get at least merit for being true to yourselves, and maybe you'll make a second game or a third game or whatever it may be that is devoid of any of the the consultation company as a whole nonsense, not just Sweet Baby Inc., because we do need to call out all these other consultation companies, and then maybe you'll see some success there. But as for ZAU, sorry, want it to fail. I hope it fails, and then learn from your mistakes. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about Gamergate 2 or the situation going on in gaming, Sweet Baby Inc., Alyssa Mercante, all that. But it is big ongoing news, and we do have to keep covering it. So yeah, hit that button. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose videos for me to react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, join the bustling conversation that is the over 50 member strong Vital Idol community. Become a Vital Idol where you're free to have whatever opinion you want, so long as you can back it up and have civil discourse. It's pretty amazing. We actually love diversity, the diversity of ideas in my Discord. So yes, that's right. Become a member, become a Vital Idol, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.